Christine Nagy, along with producer Jamie. And Jamie, it's been a little while since we've done a podcast together.
I know. It's been a long time. I miss doing it.
I miss doing it, and I missed a very good friend of ours. We
Yes.
haven't seen her since the before times, and we are so happy you're back. Deborah Graham joins us. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be with you guys.
So happy to see you. You look wonderful. Deborah has helped us so much in the past. She is an intuitive relationship coach, spiritual reader, past life regression expert. You've had your own TV show on TLC, your own radio show, Sirius XM. I know you're working on a podcast. And the best thing is to follow you on social, right?
Absolutely, at Psychic Deborah Graham.
Psychic Deborah Graham on Instagram, because you go live every Wednesday and you take people's questions.
Absolutely, starting
evening.
July when are we
July
doing this?
20th from 7 to 8 p.m. it starts, yes.
All right. So we're going to keep reminding you of that, because once we get into this conversation with Deborah, I know you're going to have your own questions for her. So Deborah, first of all, welcome back. Again, great to see you.
Great to see you guys. You guys look amazing, and the energy's amazing in here.
So do you. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
And we have been through a lot, Deborah. The world collectively, these past couple of years, it's hard to sum it up in one conversation. But I'm wondering how it feels energetically, having been through this really rough period of illness and a shutdown. And now, are we reemerging, and how does the energy feel?
Well, we're coming back. It's almost like the universe, the metaverse, whatever you want to call it, has channeled us to take a break. It's almost like we needed to take a break and give the world a chance to reset and re-identify who we are. So it's almost like it's been a blessing and a curse at the same time, because how many of us can actually say that we've actually figured out our life's purpose, or we found out really what we came here to learn, because we were so busy keeping on moving forward that we did not have time to really identify what our own inner power. So going through this whole reset was not a coincidence. I believe it was a way to help us move forward. It was a way to help us learn our life lessons, but it was also a way to reconnect with our own intuition, our own energy, because so many people during this pandemic, and I think you guys could, definitely agree with me on this, that people have become more aware, number one. They've become more spiritual.
Absolutely.
They have become more connected with themselves. And some people have gotten divorces during this time because they realized they were with Mr. Not Right or Mrs. Not Right, or kind of like stuck in their own world. And it's given them a chance to clear. And then, of course, we've had a lot of losses as well.
Yes. Yeah, we have. That's one of the things we were talking about before we started rolling tape on the conversation. Was it's been a period of great loss in a general way and in personal ways in our own lives and our friends. And we feel we've lost people, whether it's COVID or because we couldn't get the right medical treatment because of COVID. We feel we lost people too soon, too early. And a lot of us are grieving. And I'm just kind of trying to wrap my head around this feeling of like, no, it wasn't your time. It feels like we lost people it was too young. We didn't want them to go.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you 100%. But they say the day it's written that you're born is the day you're going to check out. It's kind of like an expiration date. There's a day you're born and there's a day you're supposed to cross over. So I believe that their timing was the way it was supposed to be, even though, we've lost people. I've lost people in my own family during this COVID. Like my mother-in-law passed away recently, not from COVID, but during COVID time. And I had a cousin that passed away as well, and a couple of other people that I've known very closely. But I feel like the day it's written, you're born, the day it's written, you're supposed to go. And I believe it's all about learning how to grow spiritually and grow energetically. And instead of getting your fate to grow lower, it's about bringing your fate to grow stronger. And it doesn't matter what you believe in, whether you call him God, Allah, master teacher, or creator, or whether you believe in your own electromagnetic force field. It's about working on your belief system. And when you're connecting with your own intuitive belief system, it's about becoming awakened and becoming aware and using that gift. Because the greatest part about it is having a connection with a loved one and having a dream, or knowing that, you're not here physically, but spiritually you're still here. Because there's one thing that's super important. When you cross over, your body is gone, but your soul, I repeat, your soul is still very much soul alive, okay? And the soul never dies. So can you still communicate with your loved ones? Absolutely. Does your loved one still come around you? Absolutely. So when you think they're not listening, ha ha ha, you got a wrong thing going on there, because they are. They listen 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We as human beings don't pay attention. So it's almost like take off your blinders, connect with your third chakra, otherwise known as the Gita, and that's where the answers are. And that's why I do a lot of courses and I do a lot of teaching. And obviously, as a psychic medium, I connect with the other side to teach people and learn them, not also to give them the answers, but to teach them how to connect with their loved ones. I have a great story, actually, really quickly. I had a client the other day. She lost her husband, God bless his soul. And she called me. She says, Deborah, you're not going to believe this. She said, my husband just gave me a sign. I said, oh my God, how amazing. And the sign that she got was something that she would only know. Only she would know the sign. Okay. And that's because you're open and you're in tune, to the point where he actually wrote her a message on a window, literally. And she's seen it. There was no freaking way that could happen. Now, energy has a way of doing things 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But it's about connecting with your spirit. And this happens all the time. Like, for instance, I would have clients and they would say, okay, I'm trying to communicate with a loved one. Well, guess what will happen? Within 2 or 3 days, I'm like, you're going to get the sign. The energies will come through some way, whether it's going to be a song, it's going to be a number, it's going to be something. Some of them have their telephone number ringing in from their loved ones. Of course, their loved ones have been gone forever, but that number seemed to call them. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, how the heck would something like that happen? That's the universe. And that's how spirit channels, is through energy.
Wow.
Well, Jamie and I have discussed this again because we are dealing with such deep grieving and loss that we sometimes feel like we can't even tune into that. Like and a dear friend of ours is grieving right now for her dad, and the pain is so deep, and you want to feel connected. Deborah, you tell us we can feel our loved ones, we can hear them, but I think our sadness is so deep that we can't.
Absolutely.
Like our vibration is too low sometimes to maybe pick up on or see the signs or feel them. Or,
you're absolutely right, but you have to go through the grieving process. The grieving process is so important, to actually just take a pause and go through the grieving and know that you're going through this and that you're going to miss seeing them, feeling them, touching them, but you have to learn to communicate with them on a different level. So it's almost like you have to tap in to your own inner psychic abilities and tap into your own frequency in order to tap into your loved one's energy. And that's a possibility. Yeah. You can do that even with your dad.
Yeah, and I have a quick story, and I will be forever thankful to you. The day my dad passed, April 1st of 2020, my dad had not even been gone 24 hours. My phone rang. It was Deborah. And she had connected to my dad, and she was telling me all this stuff, and I wasn't crying. I was smiling, and I thought, oh my God, he's on the other side, and he's safe, and he's good. I have chills.
Chills, me too. It's so amazing.
It's like the peace she gave my heart and soul. Wow. I mean, I still missed him, but I was like, oh my God, he's there. He got there. He's okay. Wow. And he didn't have the pain, and he was thriving already. And that has carried me through over 2 years of losing him. I think back to this phone call all the time because she connected to him so fast. And it was a gift from God, honestly, your phone call. The peace that it brought my heart and my soul. Because she had it's like you just called and was like, oh, I just spoke to your dad and this is going on. And it was just like the most amazing thing ever. And so I'm so grateful for that.
And also just to know that doesn't always happen that quick. Usually it could take them sometimes 9 months before they connect with you.
Apparently my dad he
came right in.
Speedy.
Because he wanted her to know that he was okay.
Yep.
He needed her to know that I am with you today, tomorrow, and always. And I'm always going to be with you. You need to take care of you. And don't worry. I'm always going to be with you in the passenger seat. And I'm always going to be there to watch over you.
Yep.
And I'm always going to be there to protect you and let you know that you're going to get the signs. And anytime you need me, all you have to do is just reach out.
And he gives me lots of them.
Oh, you're going to get it all the time, like numbers and synchronicity. Yep. You're going to just know it. You're going to feel his soul, his energy.
Yep.
And he's bringing you someone. Love and relationship.
Wow, thank you.
He says your Mr. Forever's around the corner. And that's one thing that he wants you to know, that's one part that was very, very hard, is not being there to walk you and your sister down the aisle. This is something he needs to say. This is a big one, okay? But he says that you guys are going to have a sign. It's going to happen. Your sister's actually going to have a really big sign.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And it's going to be a sign that is going to be so blatantly like, whoa, Dad is here. Our soul is here. His energy is here. And he is going to be right there with you. He said,
Amazing.
I never left you.
Yeah.
I never left you. Look at those pennies. Look at those dimes. Look at those quarters. Look at those pennies on heads. Look for the signs this week. It's going to happen.
Okay.
And you're going to see the number 3, 3, and 7, 7. It's just going to come up. The craziest thing, 3, 3, and 7, 7. And as those signs are coming in, he is watching over you. And he says it's okay to scream out and feel this loneliness. He said it's okay to feel, you don't have to be on all the time is what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's saying it's okay to take down that wall.
Sometimes. Okay.
He says,
Dad.
be you. Be you.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm always there to watch over you. Oh, and he says also there's like a woodsy smell too. There's going to be like a woodsy smell that's just going to kind of come in. It's kind of weird. He's saying this to me now.
Okay.
It's going to be like all of a sudden just like, shoo, just like a woodsy smell coming in. And you're going to know that he is right there with you. Okay, like to the point where like you're going to see him standing right next to you at the foot of your bed.
We used to take walks in the woods all the time. And
There
that
you
was
go.
like our thing together. And
The woodsy
so
smell.
I know okay, that's amazing. Thank you for that. I wrote it down. I won't forget, but I just wrote it
got
down just in
chills.
case. But
That's amazing. He's with us. He's with. See, our loved ones come in all the time. Like my grandma, I haven't seen her in years, and a few nights ago I seen her. I was talking about my mother-in-law, God bless her soul, who just recently passed away. And, you know, she was 90 and she lived a beautiful life. And she lived with me for 3 years after Papa passed away. And it got to the point where she couldn't go from Georgia to Florida to New York to wherever I was taking her. I think she traveled more with me these last 3 years, I swear, than ever. But it was like, it was her time and she wanted to go, you know? But she came to us every single night. This is not a joke. I'm telling you, I was even kind of like, okay, this is too much to handle. Every single night, because my husband actually broke his leg a couple of days after the funeral. He literally broke his leg. Okay. I was like, oh my God, this could have not happened at a worse time. I mean, breaking your leg should never happen at any time, but hell, if it's going to happen, oh my God. It was like, all righty. But she came to us every single night for 6 weeks and she came in the light. And I'm not joking. There was a light in the room and I would wake up and be like, okay, maybe it's just the TV. It's got to be something coming in. Maybe it's a light switch. And I'm like, okay, I'm probably half asleep. So I didn't pay attention to it. Next night, have her again, have her again, have her again. And I finally acknowledged her knowing that she was there. And it's kind of like how that light just kind of flicked off. It just did it. That one light right back there in this
I see
studio flicked. And that's what it would do. It was like a light in the room, but there was no light there. It was just like a corner that would just flick. And as soon as I acknowledged her, it would go away. And then it was fine. It was like the weirdest, oddest thing. But see, the universe shows you signs, but we don't pay attention to them because, as you were just saying, that we are so stuck in our own inner trapped emotions that sometimes we don't pay attention. So pay attention to the signs because they're there.
All right. So coming out of this period, which I hope we are, like we said, out of the pandemic as a whole, what are we bringing forward with us? Do you think you talked about some people, their relationships are changing. Some people, I think, reevaluated their jobs. People are moving.
Yes. People are moving like crazy.
Yes.
Wow. It's
Yes.
crazy.
So is that going to continue?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People are basically they were given a gift. They were given a gift to actually live for their life, not work to live, but live to live.
So agreed.
Okay. So what has happened is people are thinking, well, you know what? I've worked, let me just put it out there, St. Louis, Missouri, or I've lived in Tennessee all my life, but my dream was always to live in, I don't know, Wisconsin, or I always wanted to live in Boca, or I wanted to live in New Zealand, or wherever it may be, because now the opportunity of having coronavirus out there, pandemic, has given us a chance that we can work from home and do our work, but live to live, not work to live, and then retire at the age of 60 and then go decide. So the universe is pushing us forward. So people are making changes. We're going to continue evolving. And I predict energetically, we're going to continue evolving the next 5 years. I repeat, the next 5 years. So what does that mean? There's still going to be a lot of shifts going on energetically, some that are good, some that are bad, but changes are good because it moves us forward to get us to the next level, right? But what it's showing us is that we are stepping out of our fears. We are stepping into our own empowerment. We are actually connecting with our own inner trapped emotions, but it's giving us a chance to say, hey, I've always wanted to be an artist, but I never had a chance to. Well, guess what? So many people are living the dream, and they are living their lives to be the best version of themselves.
I think,
that's exciting. Though.
Yeah, we need
it's
the
so exciting.
Words and the positive energy.
Well, because there's been so much going on. It's like, whoa, what's going on here and stuff, you know?
There really has. So, Deborah, once again, your book is Psychic Deborah Graham's Guide to Attracting and Keeping Your True Love. I think that's what we should get into in our next podcast, is talking about
absolutely
soulmates and twin flames. Let's get back to romance. I mean, that's kind of how we met you.
That's what it's all about, finding that soulmate, that partner. I always say you always want to put love first, because at the end of the day, you could have a beautiful home, a beautiful house, you could have planes, trains, and automobiles. But when you don't have that partner and that life purpose and that connection, then it's kind of like, everything you're doing is just kind of like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of beautiful houses, if I could put in one personal question.
Oh, yes. This has been a burning topic on our show.
Oh. Yes. Been sharing this with our listeners and our friends. I've been searching for a new home, and it just isn't happening. We've come close twice and lost it, and I didn't realize you get so emotionally involved, and it's a heartbreak when you don't get your home.
Oh, yeah.
Are you feeling anything for
Your
me?
timeline has not been right. Okay, so in a strange way, it's great, because number one, you're going to get what you want. You're going to feel connected, and you're going to get it at the price point you want. You're not going to have to be at a point that you're fighting with 20 other people. And let's just say the house was at $899. Before you know it, you're paying $1.1 million, $1.2 million because you got 20 other people outbidding you. So number one, the best thing that could have ever. So thank your guides, thank the universe, thank your soul energy that you did not get the house when you thought it, because it wouldn't have worked out. The feng shui time was not right energetically. Your energy would have been at a 1, not at a 30. So that's how high off you would have been. So there would have been so many issues. You would have taken other people's energy that were toxic energy that actually would have affected you energetically, physically, and or emotionally. But the timeline is opening up towards the latter part of the year. So wait. Going towards the end, towards the beginning of the year, you're going to get what you want when you want it, and you're going to get it at the price point you want. And I don't think so. I know that, because that's what Spirit just channeled me. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Wow, Deborah.
This is exciting. This
So
deserves a clap, because this is so exciting.
Wow. So you are happy, and you're going to be happy because you just dodged a big old freaking bullet.
Really?
Absolutely.
Whoa.
100%. Because everything you were running towards and trying to do, now it's going to be in your timeline. Not saying the market's going to change. Market's going to change for the buyer, not the seller. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's going to be good. It's going to be in your ballpark, girl.
Okay, good. And for people in my situation, do you think in general that's kind of why it doesn't work out for a lot of us when we're looking?
Sometimes the energies are just not right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, generally when you're having a hard time and you're trying to buy a house and you're trying to get it, and it's like you just keep getting blocked, you keep getting blocked, because number one, either that house's energy is not for you, because you got to think about it. A home is very important, okay? And you want to clear it. That's what I do. I do a lot of energy clearing, whether somebody's trying to buy a house or whether you're trying to sell a house, because sometimes there's attachments, okay? So you didn't need somebody else's, excuse my French, badass freaking ass energy. You know what I'm saying? So you wanted to clear that out. So the timeline wasn't right. So if you're having a problem, and some of your listeners could agree with this as well, and it's not going your way, that's okay. Take a step back and give the universe a chance to give you what you want. In your case, you're going to get what you want when you want it, and you're going to be happy. So yes, I see the home. I feel like it's going to have a yard, so that's good, and that's important for you.
It is important for her.
That's all I've been talking about.
Yeah, she has been talking about the yard.
She's got to have that yard, because she's got to plant those seeds. I mean, you got to plant those seeds. You got to plant those flowers. You got to plant those seeds. Like, that is really tranquility for you.
Yes,
okay, you need to get your hands into the dirt. I'm telling you, it's crazy what's coming in. And once you do that, then that soil, that energy is going to be there. Like, I see it. I feel it. Oh, I got chills, girl. But don't rush into it. Make this fun. It's like dating. Buying a house is like dating. Have fun. Don't be like, okay, he's too short, he's too tall, she's too short. No, look at it and enjoy it. Embrace it. Have fun with it. Okay. So it's kind of like going out to a different restaurant every night. You're looking at a different home every day. Heck, and some of them even have treats and they'll give you. So just enjoy it. Never make it stressful, because your home is where your heart is. It really is. Okay. Especially during pandemic. I lived in my house for 2 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it was
Right.
crazy, but it was wonderful because I was obviously
did.
so busy. I didn't even realize there was a pandemic because I had crisis going on with people all over. So I was kicking ass and saving some lives at that point. So I was working 18 hours a day, like no
Oh my
joke.
God.
So now I feel like, okay, I'm like able to like kind of like do my own thing. But at the same extent, you have to really connect with you. And when you connect with you, you're going to connect with your home. I'm excited to hear about
This
it.
is exciting. I'm so
Really
excited for you.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Everything
Deborah.
that you've been talking about.
Yes, you just named
You
it all
nailed
off.
it.
That's what I was looking
Oh,
for. So
yeah.
Yes.
So if people are looking to buy a house or whether they want to get a reading, they could always go to psychicdeborahgraham.com. That's psychicdeborahgraham.com. And also, I would love for everybody to join us on our Instagram Live on.
It's starting July 20th on Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. And then it'll be every Wednesday from 7 to 8 Eastern Standard Time.
Well, Deborah Graham,
Yes.
it's so great to talk
Thank
to you.
you.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited to be back here.
Thank
This
you.
is awesome.
It is wonderful to see you again. And let's come back and we'll talk about relationships on our
Absolutely.
next podcast. Thank you, Deborah Graham.